Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Hampton location, and today I'm very excited to share with you this recent arrival. Today we're taking a look at this 2020 Acura MDX. This MDX is currently showing just under 28,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you will also find a free included Carfax report, alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'm excited to take you on a tour of the vehicle, showing off some of the interesting and unique features that make this such a compelling and family-oriented vehicle. There's tons of space, it's very nice to drive, and the quality is really excellent, so I'm excited to show you all around it. But of course we start here on the exterior, looking at this brilliant metallic white paint scheme. Now, as usual, I'll take you really close to the bodywork to show off any dings, dents, scratches, etc. This is the best angle to really get a clear view of any inconsistencies in the bodywork, but as you can see, this vehicle presents beautifully and shows no signs of damage here on the driver's side of the vehicle. Now, looking at these gorgeous 5-spoke 18-inch wheels, you'll find a nice contrast there with the metallic gray paint on the interior spokes and a nice machine finish on the outer facing sections of the wheel. Presents very nicely and contrasts well with all of the chrome trim that we find, like that on the lower portion, as well as on both door handles and the complete window surrounds. Now, looking here at the front wheel, you'll find it very similar condition that we found in the rear. It looks very nice, that same contrasted finish, and the tires, these Michelins, are in very nice condition as well. Looking here at the front fascia, it's no different. We still have that beautiful pairing of the metallic white, the piano black, and the chrome all over the place. You can see the headlights even share that same contrast, and they are really a nice design feature here in the front end. You'll also note that both headlight lenses are free of any oxidation, discoloration, or scratching. They both present beautifully. All that chrome trim around the center Acura emblem looks great. You can see that emblem doubles as some of your driver assistance features. More chrome trim on the lower portion. Again, all the way around, presents gorgeous here at the front of the Acura. Now, another wheel here in the front, looking at the front passenger side. Wheel only shows some minor wear, a couple marks here and there, but the wheel presents nicely otherwise. And this gets you a really good idea of how brilliant the metallic is in this paint. You can see how much it shimmers in the direct sunlight. It's really nice to see that. It is going to make it a bit trickier to see the bodywork here. Harder to see reflections, but as you can see, no dings, dents, or scratches all the way here to the rear. It all looks great. Lastly, the wheel here in the rear also presents very nicely. You'll also notice on the edge of every door are these little bump stops, so in case, say, somebody in the back seat gets out, swings that door nice and wide open, if it does bump something, the wall in the garage or a parked car, you know the outermost portion of your door is protected, and also it's got a little bit of give to it, so the car or the item that gets hit is also protected to some extent. It's nice to see that, and you can see they're free and clear of any damage. Now, here at the rear of the vehicle, all presents very well. You have this nice spoiler that overhangs the rear window. You have more chrome trim, as well as your Acura and MDX logos. Your all-wheel drive badging. A small scuff here on the corner of the bumper, relatively subtle, but it's worth noting. And the lower portion, you do have more of that black and chrome contrast with those dual exhaust pipes flanking that chrome trim. Taillight lenses also both look fantastic. So next up, let's make our way to the interior, where you'll find very nice materials and the seats in gorgeous condition. We can see those bolsters all present beautifully. Move that seatbelt out of the way. You can see the upper bolster stitching perfectly intact, almost nowhere to note, and the seat bottoms look just the same. And the same can be said over here on the passenger seat. Very, very nice condition. First thing you notice as you make your way inside is how comfortable the MDX is. You have loads of room, really nice materials being utilized here in the interior, and this nice bright engine start button. So I'm going to push that real quick. So if you see any issues there with flickering in the gauges or pulsing, that's only due to the camera's effect on the LEDs. You You can see if I change lenses, it goes away entirely. So that is a camera artifact. So don't be bothered by that too much. Anyway, looking here, you can see the interior displays have fired up. You can see your clock and basic information screen up there. You also have your infotainment system down here just below. All of the surrounding controls in great shape. I'm sorry about the sunlight. Try to find a way to block this out a little bit. Maybe if I go straight on, you could see it's all in very nice condition. The heated seats work beautifully. You have your controller here for the upper screen. As we make our way into the center console, you'll find an interesting method of selecting your gears. As we can see here, all a variety of different switches, but intuitively they all actually make a lot of sense. You press for park, you pull that small trigger back for reverse. You have to pull it backwards so it feels right that the vehicle will then move backwards. Neutral, a nice big button, and drive and sport are right there front and center, and if you push it, lights up bright green, confirming that you are indeed in drive. And if you hit that dynamic mode switch in sport, these paddle shifters become active and you can change gear yourself. And this vehicle is actually pretty sporty to drive. It feels great going down the road. Engine and transmission are both very responsive, and I actually quite enjoyed driving it. You can see looking around the steering wheel, you have that beautiful leather wrap in great condition. All of the controls looking very nice as well, in perfect shape, and they all work as you would expect. You also have a couple of really nice driver assistance functions here. You have your lane keep assist, which is going to gently guide the car between the lanes, keeping you exactly where you need to be, and your radar guided cruise control, which is going to keep you at a selected distance from the car ahead of you, and that's a nice convenience feature to have. Can all be adjusted using these switches on the right bank here. Of course, you have memory seating, you have various more driver assistance controls here on the left, window switches, and this beautiful wooden and silver trim that carries across the dash and onto the door cards. You can also see the dashboard is in fantastic condition as well. Looking above my head, nice big sunroof just there, can be operated using these switches just above the mirror. You can see it opens up without any hesitation or issue. Same goes for closing it down. And it can also be popped as a vent or closed back down. Also, just here we do have a center console, which is very spacious, and also this small wooden tray, which can be slid back and reveals a bunch of media inputs and charging outlets just there. But if I slide it forward, I have two different options. I have my small storage there, and the other latch reveals a much deeper storage pocket, which can also be opened up all the way by removing that wooden tray. So next up, let's take a quick look under the hood where we could check out the powertrain for the MDX. See you there. All right, so as you can see, we've made our way under the hood here of the MDX, where we find a very clean engine bay. Not a whole lot that you can see without doing a bit of investigating. You can see all of the braking system there. All of the intricate connections are in great shape. You won't see any form of corrosion or rot anywhere under the hood. All of the plastics shining beautifully. The engine idling very happily. I'll let you listen for a moment. And this is a great motor. Here in the Acura MDX, we have the 3.5 liter transverse mounted V6. And this V6, producing around 290 horsepower, does deliver a fun driving experience where you're never lacking for power despite this being a larger vehicle. It always comes through, and when paired with the ZF 9-speed automatic gearbox, there's a gear for every situation. Any overtaking or any, you want to boost your MPG, run it up to 9th gear on the highway and just sit at 1500 RPM. This package can deliver that and then some. And of course, being paired with all-wheel drive, it's going to be practical and usable for the entire year. So next up, let's take a quick look in the second row of seating. Now we have very nice materials, just as we saw there in the front. You can see these seats in the back present beautifully. I did drop down the center armrest with the cup holders, but that can of course be stowed away to fit an extra passenger in between. And you have a seat belt there that finds its source in the ceiling just above your head. Door cards look great as well, those same nice materials that we saw in the front. You also have individual climate controls here for your rear zone and a couple of power outlets just there. You'll also find a beautiful rubber mat installed there. I would have put it in the trunk to show you the carpets, however, we have so many other mats for this vehicle that I figured best to leave it right there. And sitting behind where I would comfortably drive this vehicle in a very relaxed position. My knees are right up against the seat, but I'm not longing for legroom. I have that front seat way far back. If I adjust it to how I would realistically be driving the vehicle, I'd have plenty more room here in the second row. But next up, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to get at the third row of seats. But as I mentioned, we have all of those mats to look at. So one touch operation lifts that tailgate. We have mats, carpets for your second and third row of seating. We also have driver and passenger mats, as well as the remaining rubber mats for your front footwells just there. But let me clear all of these out, clear out this cargo space, and I'll show you just how easy it is to deploy and access those third row seats. See you in a moment. All right, so all of those mats are out of the way. Now we can see if we're deploying those third row seats, you see these two big black handles there on the seat backs. All I do is I reach down. It's very lightweight. I can pull that up and then deploy the headrest to lock it in place. Same goes here for this side. Easily locked up. And then I'll take you over here. And this function is available on both sides, so it's not just here on the passenger side. But there's this nice button there, and there's another one just behind this shoulder pad. If I touch this button, the seat deploys itself forward, giving a nice big entry point here for the third row. And when we take a look, we'll find the seats in very nice shape, as we saw in the other two rows. You have these nice armrests and cup holders as well as some side windows and individual reading lights just there if necessary. So you can see very nice, and then just as easily as I deployed that seat forward, it slides back, the backrest locks right into place, and we're good to go. Now, very quickly over here on the passenger side, this is a slightly better example of what the seat would be in a regular driving position for somebody my height, and you can see much better representation. I should have had this seat in a more realistic position, but as you can see, no issues with legroom whatsoever. I could sit here comfortably, mostly thanks to the intelligent design of that rear seat, the seat back rather, where it cuts away, gives me some knee room. As we can see, with the rear seats deployed, you still have plenty of storage space where necessary here in the back. And just as simply as I put those seats up, I just grab that handle, drop it down, and push that seat ahead. It's a bit of a two-handed operation. Same goes here on this side. Easily deployed down. And then one touch operation is going to drop that tailgate down. And it latches right into place without any issues. So this is a very capable family vehicle. It's stylish. It feels luxurious on the inside. And with a great powertrain, it can be enjoyable to drive as well. So it's a great well-rounded vehicle for all seasons here in New England as we approach winter. And I highly recommend you thinking about the MDX as your next family vehicle. But if you have any further questions, please reference the listing at alphacars.com, and there you're going to find all of the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.